Hey guys, guess what time it is? Story time. It's time for another story. But I have to warn you, this one is a bit of a doozy. Rewind to a point in my life that I like to call the Dark Ages. Middle school. It was middle school. Now, I did not always have the striking smile that you see today. And it wasn't until middle school that I'd taken my first trip to the dentist, because that's when my teeth were particularly bad. But that's not what this story is about. No. This story is about my second trip to the dentist. I am not a lucky man when it comes to painful procedures. For some reason, I always tend to get the short end of the stick. Needle. What have you. This time was no different. Like I said, this was only my second time going to the dentist. The first one was relatively simple, just a few simple cleanings, x-rays, and it was during the x-ray that they found that I had a cavity in the back of my mouth. No surprise, I was a pretty chunky kid, and I used to eat a ton of sweets without brushing my teeth very often. A ton of sweets. And to add to that, I had this whole shark teeth thing going on up here in the front, and it didn't look like those puppies were coming out anytime soon. So they tell me, no problem, we can fix both of those eventually, just come back another day. So we did. But how was I supposed to know they literally meant fixing both in one day? There's no way I could prepare for that. I mean, I don't have strangers regularly pulling at my teeth, and if you do, that raises some serious concerns. Dentists are not good people. I'm just gonna come out and say it. We all know it. They are evil. Herbie, from the North Pole, you know the little elf? He's a monster. And those elves had every right to shun him. Santa has no time for that kind of monstrosity. I mean, at least Bumble could help decorate. I'm not going to bore you with the actual details of the procedure, because that's just a bit too graphic. And I'm not going to joke with you about how dentists feel the need to talk to you during these procedures, because that's been done a million times already. So, how old are you? Oh, I have a niece around that age. No, the worst part of this came after. I was abandoned. As soon as the deed was done, he and his little techs just took off. Bye-bye, Justin. Enjoy your suffering. They left me there. A broken child. I dare say I was neglected in that room. And by this point, my mouth was practically overflowing with various liquids. It's gross, but it needs to be said. I don't know how long I waited there. It could have been years. Decades. I mean, it certainly aged me to that point, it felt like. At most it was like 15 minutes, but it felt like the longest 15 minutes of my life. Eventually someone came back and I was free at last. But at what cost? As I had sat there, my face sort of metamorphosized into looking like the Predator without his mask on, right? I came out of there with swollen lips, cheeks, basically my entire face. I looked like I had gone 12 rounds with the Incredible Hulk. And I mean, I knew I won the fight, but from an outsider's point of view, you couldn't exactly tell that by looking at my face. So I come out of the office, as I'm walking out, right, I hear this mom talking to her kid. And obviously it's his first time coming here, right, because she's telling him things like, oh, it's okay, sweetie, there's nothing to be afraid of, everything will be alright. And I open the door, I make eye contact with this kid while I'm all... And I can just tell from the look in his eyes. That was the day he stopped believing anything his mom had ever told him. And that made it all worth it. 2 children traumatized for the price of 1. High five! Oh my gosh. That's all I got. That's all I've got for this story time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you can catch more of my story times and just all the stuff I do on here. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.